everybody, and welcome to E-commerce Quick Fix Cross-Border Magazine official podcast. Today is a happy day. It's a great day because we are with our friend Kevin van der Eijk from Fivex. Kevin, how are you? How's everything?
Thanks, Frank, for the introduction. Doing great. Thanks for the enthusiasm in the beginning of this chat. Happy to be here and looking forward to our chat. Thanks.
We always start high, then if we keep on going high, that's up to you. But we always start with
Yeah,
the highest possible emotion. And I think it's going to be one of those days that we will keep that high emotion because I think that Fivex
yeah.
is an interesting and really, really positive project. So let's start from the very beginning. I don't want to push it so our audience can actually learn what is Fivex firsthand. So let's start from that point on. What is Fivex?
So Fivex is a data hub for e-commerce companies. So we created the company about 6.5 years ago with one clear mission and vision to help companies grow and scale throughout Europe. We're always looking to help the bigger clients, the bigger customers, the bigger brands to scale throughout Europe. Since it's a super complex market with all the different marketplaces, there are a couple of big problems, and we're trying
Hmm.
to solve them. And one of them is to keep a clear overview of how well you're performing on all those different
Hmm.
marketplaces. So inside of 5x, we connect with all the different marketplaces, sometimes an ERP system, WMS system, to get all the different data from the operation to one point. And we help the brands to give a clear overview of the profitability on order level. So that's basically where we start. So you have one overview where you see exactly how profitable the whole operation is, what marketplaces, what channels are outperforming the others, and then on product level and order level. So you have a clear understanding of how the business is performing. And from that point on, we're helping with the actions you need to take to improve the results. Because at the end of
Hmm.
the day, all the companies are trying to grow, to expand, to build a profitable and healthy business. But to go from raw data to actions and the next step, automations, that's what we're here for. So besides just gathering all the data, we're also helping with some automations on top of that. So you can think about setting the right sales price. So for example, if the stock levels are low or if the profit margins are low, we want to increase the sales price on a specific marketplace or channel. And at the other end, we're also integrated with the advertising part, since it's a bigger and bigger part of the whole marketplace performance in that sense. More money is going in a direction, and you need to keep track of that, and you need to use that part to grow the business as well. So we created our own software for that. Currently, it's integrated with bol.com and Amazon. We are integrated with over 150 different marketplaces, but not all of them are at the point in time that they do have an advertising API to work with. So currently we're
Hmm.
waiting till they are opening the doors for us, so we are also
Hmm.
able to help for those channels. And that's where we try to focus on to get the right products in front of the right clients at the right point in time on the right channel. And to make that thing work over all those different marketplaces, you need one system to operate the whole thing. And that's what we are. That's what we've built, and that's where we help quite a lot of companies with doing it. Yeah,
I mean, it sounds a little bit arcane for people that might not be in the industry or people that have zero to no knowledge about
yeah,
e-commerce, but having control of the data is vital nowadays, isn't it?
yeah, 100%. And it's getting more and more vital, I would say. So about 4 or 5 years ago, during the tragedy of COVID, everything was going through the roof. So all the companies were seeing great successes on the different marketplaces and online. By then, it was more the problem to get enough products here so you were able to sell them versus the profitability. So
Mm.
everyone was going great for most of the companies. But then the whole industry, the amount of sellers, the amount of marketplaces in general, so competition grew
Mm.
and profit margins shrink. So yeah, these days it's very important to really know, okay, what is going on. And if you're working with a whole lot of products, whole lot of marketplaces, yeah, it is mandatory to know your numbers directly when they're there. Because if you're waiting for yeah, for the quarterly review to see if you're still profitable, yes or no,
You
there is
might
a
be too late.
you might be too late. That's what
Yes.
we see quite often. And yeah, when you get that far, it's also super difficult to turn the ship around. So yeah, we try to help companies right at this time of time. Yeah.
Now, Kevin, you look young, young, like really young. How did you started dealing with marketplaces at only 21 years old? Because most of the 21-year-old kids around the world, I say kids because nowadays it is young now,
Yeah.
are not dealing with that kind of issues. What propelled you? What impulsed you to do that?
Yeah. Well, I still feel young, but I'm almost reaching the 30, so I maybe look
Ah,
younger
you're
than
still
I.
young, even by Spanish accounts. You're like a kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
so don't worry.
No, yeah. Well, so the whole route to entrepreneurship has been always on my mind since I was quite young, and during my time at university here in Delft in the Netherlands, I had the opportunity to go for a half year to University UC Berkeley in America, and
Okay.
where I joined a program around, yeah, startup culture, like how are startups created inside of California, inside of Silicon Valley, how are they doing things different than we are used to here in Europe or in the Netherlands. So that opened a whole lot of doors inside of my mind in the sense of how they approach things and how they see the world change. And one of the big things, um, yeah, teachers, slash mentors, slash yeah, the lecturers there told us back then is, please, if you're starting something with software, please look into the data part, because data is gonna rule the world in yeah, 5 years, 10 years from now. Back then it was already important, but now we see with the whole, yeah, revolution around AI how
Yeah.
important data is, right?
Yeah, I
But
was going to tell you that
yeah,
it was a magnificent forecast what they did because
yeah,
actually it is like a prophetic forecast.
yeah.
Indeed, data is kind of a heart of AI implementation nowadays, isn't it?
100%, 100%. And still, for a lot of companies, it's super difficult to gather all the information from that point on. So when I got back from that half year, I was ready to make something work. But I had still to do my last half year of university before graduation, and I was done. So I wanted to start with something small. I was already able to get some things going on the entrepreneurial side, and then, yeah, then I came across marketplaces. They were popping up. They were doing, yeah, increasing numbers. Was an interesting business. You can start
Like
very, very
mushrooms in
small.
summer, isn't it? I mean, we have marketplaces popping up all over the place. I mean,
Yep.
in the Netherlands, you actually have one that is Bol, if
Yeah.
I'm correct.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which in Spain we don't even know about that. I mean, unless you're involved in market in e-commerce or marketplace industry, you will never hear probably about Bol.
No.
In Italy, they have different ones. So this is kind of the marketplace thing is kind of a local hero thing. Also, you have like local authorities, local marketplaces in each region inside Europe.
Yeah. So of course, Amazon is the
It's a big
big
one, yeah.
leader in the big boss in this game. Also in Europe, but through the whole wave of Amazon, they also had to pick a couple of countries where they wanted to focus on to get the infrastructure right, to get the fulfillment center set up, and things like that. And inside of Europe, you have all those different languages. So you have to kind of pick, okay, what are the most logic choices? Okay, you're going for Germany. Okay, you're going for the UK. Okay, you're going for Spain. Okay, you're going for France. The Netherlands, tiny country, and also very entrepreneurial country, I would say. So there were already quite some companies doing well, also in this space, such as Bol.com. Coolblue is a big one, and they thought, like, for the first focus, rather focus on the big countries, and that's also what you see inside of Europe. So in the Germany, in France, in Italy, in the UK, Amazon's present is, yeah, by far the
Yeah.
biggest. But in a lot of countries, there are local heroes as well.
But
And
they are steadily losing ground. Let me tell you. I mean, they are
yeah,
steadily losing ground in many countries because the combination of all the Chinese, Asian marketplaces, and the local heroes are eating away at the pie that used to be entirely Amazon's party. You know, their
yeah.
entire personal party.
100%, 100%, and it's scattered. So also for different categories, you have different things. And yeah, so I started my adventure on the local marketplace Bol.com, bought my first products inside of China, and stored it in my parents' uh, yeah place, so to say. Um, and basically, from the start, it went pretty well. So it was quite a successfully launch of the first couple of products, and I thought, well, okay, this is pretty easy in that sense. Of course, there are 1,000 different things along the way that you have to figure out, but it was super interesting. But when I was, launching the business, I saw a lot of problems in the sense of how, like, for example, the profitability. At one hand, at first we started with finding the right products to sell. Like what are the products that I need to purchase to get real successfully on these marketplaces? That's the first thought, first question. And we tried. Yeah, we created a tool together with my co-founder Nikki. He's the technical brain. I'm more responsible for the business side, and we decided to create a tool that tracks the different products on the marketplaces. And yeah, how we did it was basically the same. If I thought this could be an interesting product, you could follow it, and it was placed in the basket on the website, and then this bot put 500 units,
Okay.
and then from the correction from, in this case, ball.com, it says, well, sorry Kevin, it's not possible to 500 pieces. There are only 255 in stock.
Hmm.
Then I know, okay, there are 255 on stock. Next day, this bot did the same thing, and then you saw,
It was
okay,
like
there are.
probing, isn't it? It was like a probe. It was testing it.
Exactly, exactly. So you could track basically the sales of a product based upon the stock levels that decreased. And based upon that, we were able to figure out, okay, what are interesting products to sell on the marketplaces. That was our first
That's
launch,
cool.
first product.
That's really really smart.
Yeah. And from that point on, so we launched that basic product in within 30 days. Within 30 days, we had our first users using our system from the idea till the launch.
So
And
what
that,
started as a drop shipping operation, it evolved into an AI, well, into a technical solution, isn't it?
eh, well, so drop shipping, it's never been. So I always bought my own products and stored it here in the Netherlands and
Okay,
sold it via the Bol.com
it was
marketplace.
an e-commerce operation,
Yeah,
standard e-commerce.
yeah, standard e-commerce operation. Then we saw, like, hey, okay, it is super interesting to tackle this problem via tech. That was basically the first start. And from there on, we saw there was quite a lot of good response from the market. Bigger sellers came to us and said, like, hey, okay, Kevin and Nikki, what you guys are doing is great, but we also want help with this part and this part and this part and this part and this part. And so we grew our company. But yeah, what we always took with us from the start was the fact, like, hey, the data part, that will be the crucial point we are
Mhm.
focusing on and never leaving behind, since that, will be the core one way or the other. And about 2.5 years later, after we started Fivex, which was focused on the data side, we started ChannelDoc, and with ChannelDocs also a software solution where we focus on the logistics side of things. So there we have a full warehouse management system, which is used by quite a lot of fulfillment centers throughout the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany. We're also planning to scale that throughout Europe. Um, and we do have a PIM feed management solution there. So we are able to grab your products from one marketplace and put it to the other. And basically, both systems are combined. And now we have a full range of solutions, basically from the start, from the logistics side, to getting the products on new marketplaces, to the analytics, to the advertising. And the last part we are launching coming month with Fivex. So it's a bit of a news thing, so to say, is customer support. So
So
we're
you're
also
trying to aim an entire to build or offer a complete 360 business solution,
yeah,
e-commerce solution, isn't it?
that's correct. So what we've noticed, during like over all those different years, I really tried to figure out what makes a company for a long time, what creates actual value over longer periods of time. And then you have different options and solutions. So what you basically see is two things you need to have as a software company to help clients over a long period of time. One of them, it needs to be very interconnected with all the different uh, systems a company is currently using. So it is talking to all those different areas. That's a very important one. And the second one is how big of impact you're making throughout the company. So a lot of solutions are just on top. So this is also how we started with Fivex. You can have your whole operation, and on the side you could use Fivex to upgrade your analytics and your advertising. But if you want to grow for a company and make a real big impact, it is very important to go more into the day-to-day organization, help with the software. And this is also what we see inside of the market. Since it's pretty new, there are a lot of great point solution softwares inside of the marketplace space or the e-commerce space. But the problem a lot of companies have is they're working with like 6, 7, 8 different systems, which are not connected well to each other. And this also, makes it scattered for the data itself. If you have a warehouse management system,
Hmm.
and you have an ERP system, and you have a PIM solution, and then you have a feed management tool, and then you have an advertising tool, and then for different marketplaces, you have different tools for them. Yeah,
Do
it's
you feel
got
like that disconnection, that silo information, the information in different silos, not connected between itself, it's is an issue, it's like a major issue nowadays?
100%, 100%. It just makes the operation itself um, a whole lot more complex. That's the
And
sense. So
it also has like a cost of opportunity, if I understood correctly, because you're missing on data that might give you insight on the market, you know.
yeah, to give you an example. So for example, we're having a company selling 100 products over 10 different marketplaces. To really get the most out of their products, they really need to see, okay, what are the products that are performing well on this marketplace versus on that marketplace. And to really push those products that are already performing well, we need ads for them. But if we don't know how much stock there is for a specific product, we are maybe not even able to push a specific product on a specific channel, even if it's well performing, right? Because if we run out of stock, we have a problem on that side. So maybe not spend our advertising on that one. So we need to have a connection between our stock, our purchasing, and the different relations on the marketplaces. And then on the other hand, if there is a bad review coming in, so you're just looking plain at the advertising data, a product gets a shitty review, 1 star, whatever the reason, and the whole conversion of of this product drops. But if you're just looking at the plain advertising data and you have no clue why the ads are, performing so much worse than they did, you're maybe changing the bits or changing this or changing that. But the problem is in the content, or
Mm.
maybe a customer support part. If you're getting the same questions about a product because it's
Over and
unclear,
over,
and
yeah.
you get a high returns on a specific product, that also needs to be taken in consideration for the content management part. And so are all the different areas interconnected to each other. But yeah, if it's all silos, different system, different things, and also in bigger companies, different teams, yeah, it's very difficult to make accurate changes. And what we're all going towards is automation, partly via AI, based upon the data. So AI can make great decisions if it's fed with the right information. But yeah, if your information is everything except good, then yeah, the advice plus the action will be also shitty. Yeah.
Now, if I understood correctly about by what you're telling, you have an incredible background of being an e-commerce founder and then becoming an e-commerce industry solution founder. Because what you are doing with 5x is a solution, an integral solution. Now, from your perspective, which one would you say are like the main e-commerce trends currently nowadays? First in Europe, and then let's go globally.
Yeah. So Um, what I see happening inside of whole e-commerce, if we take it from the highest level, is there is a big shift going on in how, yeah, like how the cards are dealt on the marketplaces. So of course
Hmm.
there's a big shift going on from physical stores to marketplaces and web shops, etc. And a couple of years ago, in most cases, we had local companies, local brands that are producing slash just buying products from mainly China and Asia, bringing it to Europe, and from Europe they will try to sell it on marketplaces and stores. A big shift that is happening right now, same happening in the States, is that the Chinese manufacturers or Asian manufacturers are more and more trying to go themselves to the marketplaces versus using their intermediary throughout Europe, throughout the States. And because they're doing that, the competition on the marketplaces is not just with your local competitors. No, it's also directly with the source. And that, yeah, changes quite a lot of things around the marketplaces. So the rise of the marketplaces gave a great opportunity for a lot of small players to earn some money, to grow a brand, to make a serious business. But the competition is so much harder and more difficult right now to really compete. And over the years, to get more successful, the complexity has increased a lot. So you have to do a whole lot of things right to make a successful e-commerce companies. So 5 years ago, if you had a specific product and you were able to ship it, a couple of pictures, and voila, good
And
to
that's
go.
it. Yeah.
That's it. But now you have one hand the complexity of all those different marketplaces. There are way more competitors on the marketplaces, so you also have to make sure your delivery time is right, your reviews are right, your pricing is right, your all the things need to be on top to even compete on a marketplace, because otherwise
Mm.
you're on page 20 and no one will ever see your products. And that's also in the States. So in the States, you used to have just Amazon, which was the beast, and it's still the beast. And if you were doing well on Amazon, you were doing great. But now, slowly but surely, also Walmart is popping up, and other
Yeah.
marketplaces are slowly but surely turning in that direction. Now,
Hmm.
TikTok Shop is coming, or you get your own web shop. So over the time, there's just a lot of complexity to rule over all those different marketplaces. And right, and it's also changing every single couple of years. Marketplaces are popping up, doing well. Other ones are decreasing. So, for example, Timu did a big push in the last years, and they're still trying to plan to, yeah, be an important player inside of Europe, also in the States. Currently, they're focusing a bit more on Europe side, but yeah, a couple of months I had a chat with someone from Timu,
Hmm.
and I asked them about the planning, like where are they working on, how are they
The
seeing,
roadmap that they
yeah,
have.
the roadmap from Timu, right? So was very interesting what he said. So he said, yeah, well, currently we are just focusing on Italy and Spain and France and Germany and the Netherlands, and he basically named half of Europe. And he said, Yeah, but we are scaling. So it was almost ashamed that he was just naming half of Europe in just a
Wow.
fraction of a time to do the things. So the way of how they see speed slash how they see the Europe in general is quite different. For a lot of local marketplaces, such as bol.com, even though they're the biggest in the Netherlands and partially Belgium, they're having a real hard time to say like, hey, let's expand, let's expand. It's just a
Into
different
the rest of
strategy.
Europe, you mean, for
Exactly,
example?
exactly. And for a party like Timu, it's just we here,
Yeah, it's
and this
massive. I mean,
and the same happens
Timo
for
came out of China with a one thing in mind: to conquer the world. That's it.
exactly,
Period.
exactly,
It's an absolute different mindset. Now, Kevin, from the merchant or brand perspective, we can safely say that long gone are the times in which you can run an entire e-commerce operation without worrying about marketing. For example, that is no longer viable. You have to worry about your own marketing.
100%, 100%. So a couple of years ago, you could put your product live, and people will see it, people will buy it. These days, if you just take a close look at, for example, Amazon, so how they increase their advertising revenue from all the different brands they're helping out. I think last quarter it was over 20 billion in just one single quarter earned by
Wow.
the sellers and brands that are using their own platform.
Oof.
In 2019, from the top of my mind, maybe I'm a couple of numbers wrong, but was it 17 billion over the whole year? Just
Well,
in a
it's
couple,
incredible. I mean, we can safely say that the marketplaces are becoming media platforms in a sense, isn't
100%,
it?
100%. And also, for example, for the local party, just like bol.com, they also swifted their strategy quite a bit
Hmm.
to create their own advertising software. So they used to have a different software for that, and more spots are open inside of the website itself to run your ads, to get your products in front of the right clients. So more spots open, more will be used, more ads. Yeah, more ads is needed, and if you don't do it, your products will fall behind and will never be
Hmm.
found again. That's the thing. So yeah, there's a big
Yeah.
trend we
Now,
also see on the other marketplaces.
you mentioned already a few of them, but I want to do like a small recap of the main challenges that you feel like e-commerce companies or e-commerce brands are facing globally.
Yeah. So one of them is if they want to scale and if they want to grow, also on a long term, they have to think international.
Hmm.
So they
So it's no
have,
longer viable just to. I'm Spanish. I'll stay in Spain. No, you can no longer do that.
if you're thinking a bit bigger, you need you need expansion. That's what I see is a clear objective. If you want to grow also in the future, you have to have a plan which it's not from today to tomorrow. So if you're
Mm.
starting out on a new country or going a bit more global, it's also years to develop where you invest in growing that part. But you have to. So that's one thing. And the second thing is the operation itself. So since you're working with more marketplaces, more channels, maybe more countries, you need to have a system in place that helps you to run the operation as smooth as possible. And a big portion of that is AI will also play a big part in who's gonna win the race from e-commerce in the coming five 5 to 10 years, but in 5 years it will be already dominated by the companies who are using AI in their advantage.
Mm.
Only
And
way
obviously,
you
using AI means having data. That's where 5x becomes fundamental.
100%. Yeah, 100%. So what a lot of companies used to do or do is they try to grab all the information, all the data from the different sources and put it in a Google BigQuery, for example, and connect that to a Looker Studio or an analytics, whatever analytics platform. Problem is that you're moving all your data towards one source, but to get it from that source back to all those different channels is basically
It's
impossible.
yeah, it's impossible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's impossible. So you have to have a system that is connected and also is able to make the action right away to the right place, because otherwise it's not gonna work.
Now, Fivex solution, it's a tailor made, it's bespoken, or it's something that it's a standard solution. How it works? If I
Yeah,
am a brand that's like a small Italian brand and I want to contact you, how would be the process?
yeah. So most of the time, yeah, we will first schedule a meeting, of course, to get a better understanding of the business and the challenges. And after that, we say like, okay, let's first start a trial. During this trial, we will already connect you to all the different sales channels. So we have out of the blue 150 direct connections for the different sales accounts, sellers accounts, and also for the advertising part. We have about 10 direct connections with ERP systems. So there we can grab the right cost prices or shipping costs or stuff like that. That whole setup, most cases, is done within a couple of hours. And from that point, we are already do have all the data right in front of us. And then most of the time, we take a meeting to dive in together inside of the data to really see, okay, what's going on? What does the data tell us? Like, where do we need to focus on? A specific product, specific market, specific challenges inside of the assortment. And based upon that, yeah, we're trying to make a plan together with a company. And since about year and a half, we are also taking more more service levels from our side. So what we've noticed, it can be still quite challenging to make to transform data into actions into actual results in that sense. So for example, for the advertising part, we are able to say like, hey, we see the data, we create a plan together, and we will execute the plan. So we will create the right campaigns, we will steer on them, we will create the right automations to make sure the goals you have will be accomplished in the specific time frame in that sense. So yeah,
Is this part of the go-to market program? Can you tell me a
yeah,
little bit more about that, so the viewers can actually understand what is this the whole package that 5X offers?
yeah. So 100%. So basically, what we've seen is that for a lot of companies, the challenge goes a whole lot further than just the operation itself. There are also challenges with the barriers of language, the different
Mm.
marketplaces, different logistics setup. It's expanding can be painful, and we have a complete solution, which is called the go-to-market project in that sense. So what we are doing currently, we are unrolling it for quite a lot of German companies, but later on we will also help more international companies throughout the rest of Europe. But what we do is we help them setting up a seller's account. Then we are connecting the dots on the order level. So we know for a fact that the right orders from the new marketplace are going to their warehouse management system, or we can help them with a local fulfillment party. Then from our side, we also help them with pushing their products to the new marketplace. So, for example, a German company is already selling on Amazon, Otto, Kaufland, you name it. They want to open on bol.com and maybe Amazon NL. We help them with the setup from the account, with the logistic, with getting their products translated and well on the marketplace. We help them with the analytics, so we know for a fact if we are selling products, we do it with a profit, which is very important. We help them with the advertising strategy, and we will implement the advertising strategy. And now, since recent, we are also able to help with the customer support. So we will also connect them for the customer support, and in the right way, we are able to answer that. So what happens after? So if we implemented the whole thing, which takes about 3 months, and in the first month, in the first or end of the first month, beginning of the second month, we are already able to get the first orders through from the new marketplace to their part. The only thing that needs to be handled by a company from then is making sure the stock levels are done,
Hmm.
and and they have to receive the money from the specific marketplace. And we will give them a clear overview of how much profit they generated from the whole operation, and basically everything besides that we take out of their hands. So it's basically running the complete operation, um, yeah, for them using our own software. That's why we are able to do it so scalable and so efficient. Yeah, so that's the whole new program
Oh,
we are
that's a
currently.
massive help. It's a huge
Yeah,
help.
yeah.
Now, your software is running actually in 150 different countries, if I am correct, isn't it?
Currently, yeah, you can open it from all those different countries, but we are connected to 150 different marketplaces.
Oh, sorry,
So yeah,
150 different
yeah. So
marketplaces.
most of our focus right now is on Europe. So basically, all the biggest marketplaces throughout Europe.
When we say 150 marketplaces, we mean, for example, like Amazon the Netherlands, and then Amazon Italy, and Amazon United States. So, I mean, each one is counted as a separate marketplace, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's a thing. But also, every single country has about six, seven, eight different marketplaces.
Oh, that's massive. I mean,
Yeah,
to be honest with you, it's an incredible job what you're doing, because it's ultra localized thing.
yeah,
I could tell you which ones are like the 5 or 6 local marketplaces here in Spain, but if
exactly,
even if you held a gun at my head, I will never be able to tell you the same ones in Poland or in Germany or in the Netherlands. I wouldn't even know which ones are. So
exactly.
that's incredible. It's a research labor there that you're doing. And did you manage to connect Fivex to the API directly to each one of those marketplaces?
Yeah, yeah. That's been, yeah, one of our core focuses in the last years is connecting and connecting, connecting, connecting. Because
Wow.
what I earlier said is like the connection part, how you are integrated with the current setup, is a very important part of how your product can evolve over time. So this was also one of our core strengths. Is still one of our core strengths, and we want to keep it that way. So yeah, as we speak, we are also currently integrating with different system, different marketplaces, to make things as smooth as possible for our clients. Yeah.
There is something, Kevin, that I've noticed that you mentioned multiple times, and I feel like it's kind of the underlying philosophy of 5X. You constantly mention the long term. The long term. Let's do things the proper way. Let's focus on efficiency, on increasing the operative capacities of each one of the businesses. Not so much on profit. Is this correct?
Well, the thing is, we do
I mean,
focus a
profit is
whole
always
yeah
going to be the end goal. We know that,
we
but
do focus a whole lot on profit, but for our clients. So in that sense, so our system inside of 5x is really profit oriented to make sure our clients are profitable, that they are able
not in the
to.
in the short term only, but in the long term also.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And from our side, like how we are approaching our whole company has always been with the vision, hey, we want to work internationally, we want to work with big clients, and we want to, yeah, grow significantly and make a big impact on whole e-commerce itself, like how it can be operated. And that's not a short-term play, so to say.
So we could safely say that you're not chasing revenue, but profit optimization, like the long term goal of being sustainable and having the company alive in 20 years.
Yeah, well, no one can look into the future, but we are approaching it as a healthy company that wants to grow to make significant impact. I'm not saying that I will be gray and moving forward
A
when this,
bearded
because
CEO,
no, like, the whole e-commerce market is changing so rapidly.
Yeah, it's going too fast.
We are not able to oversee what's coming in
Mm.
5 years from now, but in the coming period, we want to scale on a healthy way and make a big impact on the whole thing. And we know we are able to do it, so that's where we're aiming for.
Now, if you have to choose, and this will be the last question, one competitive advantage for 5X, the one that will be the selling, the real deal, the deal that will make people say, hey, yes, I want 5X, I want to join them. Which one would that be?
So It is about the knowledge. So over the last 5, 6 years, we've helped thousands of different brands grow on a financial side, on a healthy side, throughout Europe, from smaller brands to the biggest brands. We're currently also helping companies such as a Bosch, a Siemens, a Nikon, from the States, and Turtle Beach, from like the real big companies to the smallest. And we've helped them all, and we're still do. So we know for a fact what's working and what's not. It's not something that we just make up and say like, hey, you should do it like this because yeah, I think you should do it like this. No, we know for a fact. And the second thing is, since we are also utilizing our own software to help our clients, so it's not just creating software for our clients, waiting on a response, hope they like it, maybe not. We are also utilizing our own software, so we know for a fact what's working and what's not, and
Hmm.
how to improve it and how to scale the whole thing. Since we are growing our company ourselves, currently we notice that we attract quite a lot of companies as our clients who share the same vision and goals with growing their company internationally. So yeah, those are basically the things. And for a lot of companies out there, they're focused on just a tiny part of the thing. So they're just focused on Amazon, or they're just focused on their country. And I think that's the part where we are able to make the difference.